I needed to make this video while the thoughts were in my head. I just watched the female sex video, U.S. election, black magic rituals, and spiritual warfare. I've actually seen it before, and I rewatched it because the video ends a little abruptly. Um, and a few things kind of dawned on me. I'll leave the link in the bottom. And I point to that video as sort of the catalyst and also confirmation of some things I've been like noticing and seeing. Um, Number one, she talks about sort of the dynamic of the white woman kind of leeching off of the energy of the black female when Melania Trump was seen arrogantly and unapologetically lifting from Michelle Obama's speech. Um, She also pointed to the fact that uh, there's a song, Andre Day's song, Rise Up, where in the video there's a black woman who's with a white man, but he's like an invalid white guy. And that singer, Andre Day, is also from Seattle, Washington. I'm sorry, Spokane, Washington, where Rachel Dolezal, who pretends to be a black woman, is from. And at first, when Female Sex did the video, I could kind of see where she was going with it, but it took me a second. Now I'm really starting to like, okay, this is confirming some things I've also seen. Interestingly enough, Rachel Dolezal. Now, Female Sex posted this video October 18th. Rachel Dolezal just came back into the headlines literally about a week ago at this point because her book is officially out. It's now November, right before the elections, and her book is out about being a black woman, basically validating her bullshit experience, her lie. Now take that in your back pocket, sit with that for a second. Just a couple of seconds ago, it's the day before the elections, mind you. Just a couple of seconds ago, I watched an SNL skit of Hillary Clinton doing a debate, or the comedian pretending to be Hillary Clinton doing a debate, and she says, and it's against the guy playing Bernie Sanders, and she says in the video, well, I am I losing am I losing points? Wait a minute, am I losing points? Well, of course I lost points in 2008. I was going up against a cool black guy. But, I mean, this time I thought it was my turn to be a cool black guy. Okay? So you have a white woman who's basically, in a way, taking on the identity of a black guy and making herself equal to a black guy. Okay. Another element to kind of put in your back pocket is the fact that the movie Loving v. Virginia is out. I think it's officially out. Or it's about to be out. It hasn't made not nearly a splash as you would think it would, considering the tension that's going on in this country, considering how much the commercials have really been pushing, like, kind of using interracial couples as some kind of proof of, I'm not sure what, everyone gets used in the media, so this isn't like an attack on anybody in particular. It's just people represent something and they use them. And what I noticed, the first thing I noticed when I saw the trailer for Loving v. Virginia was that none of the actors that played Mildred Loving, or Richard Loving, I think his name is Richard, are American. They are both foreign-born actors. You would think, now, this is not a conversation about, giving opportunities to non-American actors within Hollywood, but you would think that something as distinctly American as Loving v. Virginia, that's an American case that happened on American soil with two American parties. You would think that they would put at least one American actor. That tells me how the concept, so there's something about, it seems like they're really trying to, it's a few things here that could be going on. And I'm still kind of chewing on it. But I think number one, it shows that people are not quite as comfortable with a certain mixture, particularly white men and black women, because that case was the one that facilitated interracial marriages. Like that changed the landscape in a lot of ways. Not to dramatize things, I know the majority of people still intermarry within their own, but that's something that changed the entire like cultural landscape of this country with a white man and a black woman. But yet, it seems like they're low key trying to make the new black woman into a white woman, right? With Rachel Dolezal. And it seems like I don't know. There's something going on here with identity and with mixed racing and with who can be at the forefront, I guess, and who can't be. Um, that's my thoughts on that on it for now. I just wanted to put this out there just to get some kind of speak out loud about it, see what other people's ideas are on it. I know for one thing is that um, I think people are a little uncomfortable with. I wrote about this in one of my blog posts about how white women were kind of like with between the Kardashians, between Rachel Dolezal, between Melania Trump taking from Michelle Obama's speech. There's definitely this message being put out there that white women can be black women, and then you had Trick Daddy's video, where it's basically saying that black women's identity is being threatened, and is being threatened by white women or like kind of like white passing women of color, but especially white women, and basically that I don't know if they're basically trying to tell black women to like, you know, ready or not, here we come kind of thing. But there's definitely something going on with that, um, just with that identity, with black women's identity. Um, I also think it's interesting while also trying to downplay the black woman's power because Loving v. Virginia, I mean, you should have American actors playing that story. Like, I'm sorry, but at least one of the actors should be American because it's a distinctly American story and you're trying to market it to an American audience. It's almost like that's a movie they wanted to flop. Birth of a Nation, they didn't want that movie to flop. I don't really think that they thought that movie was going to do as badly because black people are okay with rape. Let's be real. I don't think they thought that people would be that unbothered by it. It's not just black people, but a lot of people are forgiving of rapists. Um, but Loving v. Virginia, I feel like the way they marketed that movie and the way that they put how they did the casting, that's a story they wanted to fuck up. That's a movie they wanted to fuck up. So it's almost like they wanted black women to get cut down a couple of notches. No shades of the actor, but or at least no shades of the actor, but she's not only like not American, but she's also mixed race. So you got that going on too. And again, no shades of mixed race people. You are who you are. I just realized people use people for certain reasons. Um, so there's definitely a lot of like weird shit going on, and like I had said in another video, I think a lot of black males, at least a lot of black male celebrities, are kind of going to be like low key on board with this, or kind of allow themselves to be like a tool to further this agenda. And I know people like there's some black males out here who, or just black people, period, who really need me to like have the white man's penis in my mouth. So, yes, of course, he's going to be in on this. We all know this. Tends to play a more like passive aggressive, behind the scenes manipulating the situation, but there wouldn't be anything to manipulate if people didn't have certain vulnerabilities and weaknesses to play upon in the first place. Um, so I think it just kind of furthers my original point about having to, for black women, especially the dark black women, um, the non-identifiably mixed, but just in general, the black woman, the dark woman, the black woman, that And there's something about us in the diaspora. It's because we have an identity that can be so easily like manipulated and construed, misconstrued. Um, there's a long history of the government kind of changing records to like misidentify and re-identify and reclassify groups of people. So I think particularly for black women of the diaspora, not continental black women, because African continental black women, because they have a more tangible cultural identity. It's less threatened. Um, so something's definitely going on with that. And another thing I realized too, with I was thinking about Kanye West. In this video I watched recently that just like kind of came up in my news feed. It was this old documentary or some skit of this black guy who goes to a barbershop with his white girlfriend, and he like records the encounter, and he gets quote unquote hated on by the black hairdresser. And I kept thinking to myself, wow, that's very much a move like what Kanye did, where he tried to sell, if you will, Kim Kardashian to black people at the BET Awards a few years ago, where it was like he really was like trying to beat black people over the head with wanting to accept this white woman, um, or this non-black woman, this white woman as like one of their own, as if black people already kind of, there's plenty of black women who kind of support Kim Kardashian, so I'm not sure what more he wants. So that's the kind of behavior where I feel like, black males tend to be in collusion with that agenda of replacing, um, black women with these non-black, clearly non-black women who have certain aesthetics and certain phenotypes of blackness. Um, so yeah, there's some weird shit going on. And like I said, just get prepared, just stay aware. The best thing to do is stay aware of patterns. I think that's the best thing, the best advice I can give. It's like patterns will show a lot and will reveal a lot. So